There's one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. The different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me. One power, oh, one power, one power, it's what we are. One power, one power, one power. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. It's one power. What we are is one power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
What do I do if I'm not chasing anything? What do I do if I've got everything that I need? It's a question that no one's prepared me to answer. Where do I go if I'm right where I'm supposed to be? Where do I go if wherever I am home? It's a question I'm presently wanting to answer. If the usual way doesn't work for me now, that's a void I know nothing about. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What do I say if it's all perfect anyway? What do I say if I'm not here to change anyone? It's a question I truly don't know how to answer. How do I live if my life is eternity? How do I live if I'm no longer afraid to die? It's a mystery, no one can give me an answer. If the usual way doesn't work anymore, there's no map for what life has in store. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What is the purpose of time here on earth? How do I now define my death and birth? For that matter, what is my life really worth in the end? What's mine to give and what's mine to receive? Whom do I worship? What do I believe? Seems every answer comes right back to me in the end. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over and we're all born victorious, if the race is over, what then? If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. We find out what we're made of when we are called to help a friend in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. If you're tossing and you're turning and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing a song beside you. And if you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. We find out what we're made of when we are called to help a friend in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. You'll always have my shoulder when you cry. I'll never let you go, never say goodbye. I know you can count on me like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, yeah. Count on me like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Do 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 do.
How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must the white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years can a mountain exist before it's washed to the sea? How many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? How many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times must a man look up before he really sees the sky? How many ears must one person have before he can hear people cry? How many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
In the morning of my life, I shall look to the sunrise. At a moment in my life when the world is new, and the blessing I shall ask is that God will grant me to be brave and strong and true, and to fill the world with love my whole life through, and to fill the world with love, and to fill the world with love, and to fill the world with love my whole life through. In the noontime of my life, I shall look to the sunshine. At a moment in my life when the sky is blue, and the blessing I shall ask will remain unchanging, to be brave and strong and true, and to fill the world with love my whole life through, and to fill the world with love, and to fill the world with love, and to fill the world with love my whole life through. In the evening of my life, I shall look to the sunset. At a moment in my life when the night is June, and the question I shall ask only God can answer: was I brave and strong and true? Did I fill the world with love
Two little boys had two little toys. Each had a wooden horse. Gaily they played each summer's day, warriors both, of course. One little chap then had a mishap, broke off his horse's head, wept for his toy, then cried with joy as his young playmate said, "Did you think I would leave you crying when there's room on my horse for two? Climb up here, Jack, and don't be crying. I can go just as fast with two. When we grow up, we'll both be soldiers, and our horses will not be toys. And I wonder if we'll remember when we were two little boys." Long years passed, war came so fast, bravely they marched away. Cannon roared loud, and in the mad crowd, wounded and dying lay. Up goes a shout, a horse dashes out, out from the ranks so blue, gallops away to where Joe lay. Then came a voice he knew. "Did you think I would leave you dying when there's room on my horse for two? Climb up here, Joe will soon be flying. I can go just as fast with two. Did you say, Joe, I'm all a tremble? Perhaps it's the battle's noise, but I think it's that I remember when we were two little boys. Did you think I would leave you dying? There's room on my horse for two. Climb up here, Joe will soon be flying back to the ranks so blue. Can you feel, Joe, I'm all a-tremble? Perhaps it's the battle's noise, but I think it's that I remember when we were two little boys.
There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover tomorrow. Just you wait and see. There'll be love and laughter and peace ever after tomorrow, when the world is free. The shepherd will tend his sheep, the valley will bloom again, and Jimmy will go to sleep in his own little room again. There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover tomorrow.
you wait and see. The shepherd will tend his sheep, the valley will bloom again, and Jimmy will go to sleep in his own little room again. There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover. Tomorrow, just you wait and see.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster's annual Remembrance Day service. Please join us for our opening song this morning, Turn, Turn, Turn. Welcome back. My name is Reverend Rona Segara, and it is my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of our Unity New Westminster spiritual community to our annual Remembrance Day service. Whether you are watching live on Zoom, on Facebook, on YouTube Live, or you are catching our service after, as so many people do, welcome. It is wonderful that we are able to connect in this way at this time. The Unity movement offers spiritual principles for full and abundant living. We draw on the teachings of Jesus as our primary way shower and example. And we honor that there is wisdom in faith traditions all over the planet. We honor every person's right to choose their own spiritual path. All are welcome here. All are worthy here. All are celebrated here. We begin our service today in a time of grounding and affirmative prayer. And so I invite you to close your eyes with me if that is comfortable for you. And just hear these words. We are so grateful that we are speaking to you on the traditional territory of the Semiahmoo First Nation. We are so grateful that we can come together across the airwaves, across the miles, speaking to each other, country to country, home to home. It is a strong reminder that we are all connected, that we need not be in one another's physical presence to be aware of our oneness. We believe there is only one presence, one power. That presence, that power, that creative energy that some call God and is known by so many names, connects us. It is in this presence, in this power, in this energy that we live, we move, we have our being. And it is in that one energy that we feel our heart connection with each other. And it is from that heart connection that we send a blessing for peace, for prosperity, for joy and abundant living to all beings in this amazingly beautiful planet. We bless and love each and every person. And we give thanks for the power to do so. That power to love, to express our generosity, is the power that can change the world. And we are so, so grateful. And so it is. Amen. Every day, thousands of people read a daily devotional called the Daily Word. It is something that has been in Unity since the 1920s, with a fresh message every single day. And for the last several Sundays, we've been inviting people of our community, members of our community, to read the Daily Word for us. And today I'm excited to welcome Barb Good, who will be reading the Daily Word for us. Barb has been an inspiration to us. From the very first time she walked into our community, we knew that we had found someone special. Barb is an advocate for plain language, and she has opened our eyes to the necessity of speaking in a way that is more inclusive, more accepting, and certainly more understandable. Not only has Barb opened our eyes, but perhaps more importantly, she has opened our hearts. She is friendly, she is funny, she is intelligent, she is witty. And she is now one of our newest board members, and we are so excited to have Barb on the board. Please welcome with me, Barb Good.
Sunday, November the 8th, 2020. Healing. If my body experiences any kind of health challenge, I turn within to release all fear and all concerns, as I affirm that illness is not part of my true identity. I remember that wholeness is my birthright as a spiritual being. I surrender any anxiety as I fill my consciousness with healing thoughts. My mind's eye sees each cell of my body aglow with the energy of divine light. In prayer, I express appreciation for all of my body's marvelous function. I commit to taking time to bless my body with rest, exercise, and good nutrition. I speak affirming words of truth to encourage my body's healing response. I give thanks for the healing that I know is already on its way to me. I'm grateful to receive healing and know wholeness. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. John 10, verse 10.
I'm going to mix things up a little today so that when our Remembrance Day service begins, it will flow freely right through the end of the service with no announcements. So I'll be doing the announcements earlier in the service. I want to remind you that prayer is a big part of unity. And so if you are feeling the need for support in the form of prayer, please call Silent Unity. It is a free service that is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The 800 number is on your screen. You can also go onto their app or their website. When you call, someone will answer the phone with the words, "Silent Unity, how may we pray with you?" And there is no prayer that is too big or too small for Silent Unity. So I invite you to call whenever you are feeling lonely or in need of some prayer support. Also, we have a prayer ministry at our own Unity of New Westminster community. We meet on Thursdays at 11 a.m. You are most welcome to join. All are welcome to join. There is no experience needed. You don't have to speak if you don't want to. But it is a time where we name all the people who are on our prayer list, and a time for us to check in, a time for us to center and meditate and pray together. So please join us for that. And if you would like your name to be added to the prayer list, then please drop us an email or call us at the office, and we will make sure that your name is added to the list. We have a couple of small groups that are meeting at the moment, and you are most welcome to join. We have, on Mondays, we have a writers group that meets at 1 o'clock. We have a person who is joining us from England, another person who is joining us from Idaho, and it is so rewarding to get together and talk about the writing process, as well as what we're doing and how we're experiencing writing. We have fun, it is creative, and it is open to all. So please join us if you want to for our writers group on Mondays at 1. On Thursdays, we have a group that meets at noon, right after prayer. And that group is studying a video-based curriculum called Infinite Connections, Your Guide to Creating Heaven on Earth. Please join us for that. That has become a group where some wonderful sharing, wonderful insights are happening, and it is not too late to be a part of that. So please consider joining either or both of our spirit groups. I know it's hard to believe, but Christmas is just around the corner, and that means it is time for our annual Purdy's chocolate fundraiser. Every year we have an opportunity to purchase chocolates from Purdy's, and then the church receives a percentage of the sales. If you're interested in participating this year, then please go to the website, which is www.fundraising.purdys.com/741-79803, which is our account number, or you can send an email to the church, or you can give us a call and we can help you with your order. The deadline for the order is November 23rd, and the delivery will be to the church on December the 3rd, or you can pick up at Purdy's on December the 3rd as well. And I want to thank Cindy Noble, who is our treasurer and who is coordinating this initiative this year, as she does every year. Near the end of today's service, we will sing our blessing song, our gratitude for all that we are blessed with. And I just want to remind you and thank you in advance for all of the financial support that we continue to receive in our ministry. There are many ways to give, and we are so grateful for all that we receive. Your contributions help to support not just our ministry, but the Ministry of Unity in Canada and local organizations that do some amazing, amazing work. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to let you know that a week from Tuesday at 10:30 in the morning, we will be holding a celebration of life for our beloved Elaine Mills. So I'm going to invite you to spread the word and join us a week from Tuesday, on Tuesday, November the 17th, for Elaine's celebration of life. Please bring a candle or have a candle handy so that we can connect with each other through light as we celebrate her life. Before we begin our Remembrance Day portion of the program today, I want to take this opportunity to wish my mom a very happy birthday on November the 11th. My aunt tells a story of when she was at school and the teacher, talking about Remembrance Day, asked everyone what was so special about November the 11th. And my Aunt June so excitedly put up her hand and said, "It's Rona's birthday." My mom's name is also Rona. Anyway, every time Remembrance Day comes around, I don't just think in terms of Remembrance Day. I also think in terms of my mom and how precious she is and how much of a beautiful influence she has been on my life. So happy birthday, Mom. I look forward to seeing you on Remembrance Day, physically distant and outside. I love you, I love you, I love you.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you join us. And the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us. And the world will live as one.
On May the 2nd, 1915, Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, a poet, a doctor, and a soldier, had to bury a friend of his in the fields in Ypres, Belgium. As he buried his friend, he noted that between the graves, the poppies resiliently grew. and he wrote this poem the following day. In Flanders fields the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row that mark our place. And in the sky, the larks still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard, amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. 102 years ago this Wednesday, on November the 11th, 1918, on the 11th day of the 11th month, at the 11th hour, the Great War known as World War I ended in an armistice agreement which was signed earlier that day in a railroad car. A year later, the first Remembrance Day service was held in 1919. And this Wednesday, we celebrate Remembrance Day, also known as Veterans Day, also known as Armistice Day, across the world, as a way to honor those who have given their lives, those who have given their sacrifice in the name of peace. Canadians here in this country pause to honor all who serve. 2.3 million Canadians have served in various forms of Army, Navy, United Nations peacekeeping forces. And of those, more than 118,000 Canadians have died. The reason we have Remembrance Day is to remind ourselves of the pain of war. World War I was the war that was supposed to be so horrific that everyone would see how futile and painful it was and how it does not, in the end, serve anyone. It was to be the war that would end all wars. And we know that that was not so. My father was a child in World War II. He was born in 1929, grew up in England. And he was separated as a young boy from his family, from his brothers and sisters and his parents. When the children in the cities were evacuated and moved to places in the countryside where there would be less risk for them. So my father was sent to Wales. And at the age of 11 or 12, he missed his mother so much that he would run home. He would escape. And after the third or fourth attempt, they finally gave in and allowed him to return to the city. He tells tales of living through the war, of being in those Anderson shelters and hearing the bombs going off and the noise and the anxiety. He tells of his mother in a panic one day because the sirens were going, being at the top of the stairs, and he was at the bottom of the stairs, and she saying, "Here, catch," and throwing her infant daughter, son, I don't even know, but one of his brothers and sisters to him to make sure that the baby was safe. He told stories about the gas masks that came in a suitcase. And of course, suitcases and young boys don't mean gas masks, they mean a place to hide treasures. And so he told stories about those treasures. And it reminded me of the story that our own beloved Hilda Cliff often told about the gas masks themselves and how they could be made to make those farting noises that little boys seem to find so eternally funny, and that little girls say are gross but also secretly find quite funny. He spoke of being young and adventurous and climbing the piles of debris. My uncle tells the story of he and my dad climbing on a low-rise apartment building one day and waving at a German bomber that was near, like so near they felt that they could touch the plane. And this man, this pilot, on his way to the city, waving back. My mom heard a story quite recently on CBC radio about a German bomber who was on his way to the city to drop his bombs and saw two boys waving. And he waved back. And then he turned around and dropped his bombs in a place that would do no harm. We will never know if those two stories are actually two sides of the same story. But isn't that a wonderful thing to imagine? In the age of 14, my father joined the Merchant Marine and effectively left home permanently. The war profoundly formed and informed how he saw the world and how he conducted his life. And there was never any hesitation with him about the wisdom of England's joining the war. He was one of the most peace-loving people I knew. And how do we reconcile that? How do we reconcile our love and need and desire for peace with the abhorrence of war and the need and desire to stand up to the bully? How do we reconcile standing up for values when those values seem to be in conflict with each other? I think the answer is complicated. And what I know is I am against war. And I am so grateful for those who were willing to put their lives at risk for me so that I can stand here talking to you today in freedom, without fear of retribution. Who knows what might have happened if someone hadn't said, "Enough, we need to stop this." So I am not here today to glorify war. And what I've come to realize, though, more and more as I grow older, is that peace is not passivity. It does not mean allowing behavior that is unacceptable, that is unjust, that is harmful to others. It does not mean allowing people to run roughshod over those who are not able to advocate for themselves. Peace is an action. And sometimes, maybe often, it means having the courage to stand and do the right thing despite the danger and despite the fear. Peace includes taking a stand and saying, "Stop," to the bully. The German theologian and Lutheran pastor Martin Niemöller initially joined the Nazi Party, as did many, many people in Germany. He became an opposition voice to their regime, however. And between the years of 1938 and 1945, he was incarcerated at Dachau and at Sachsenhausen concentration camp. He narrowly escaped execution. And these are the words that are on the Holocaust Memorial in Boston, Massachusetts. He wrote, "First, they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Catholics, and I didn't speak out because I was a Protestant. Then they came for me, and by that time there was no one left to speak out for me." Remembrance Day for me is a two-pronged message. The first is to take a stand for peace, to take a stand for those who aren't able to take a stand for themselves, to make the world a more kinder, more loving place, and to be intentional about that desire, to know that there will be fear and there will be resistance, and to do it anyway, to follow Jesus' guidance, which we call the Golden Rule, which is to do unto others as we would have done to us. And I would say one step further, to do for others what we wish would be done for us. And if you have ever been in the place of being desperate or helpless or powerless, you would understand the longing for someone to come and do something for you that you are not able to do for yourself. Unity's statement of peace reads, "Let each of us stand for peace in the presence of conflict. Let us stand for love in the presence of hatred. Let us stand for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Let us honor the many names of God, the many paths to God, the many ways to worship God. Let us urge all nations, all leaders and all people to turn to God by whatever their name for God, and pursue peace, not war. For this is what honors the God of all our faith traditions. Let us stand for peace in our lifetime. So for me, Remembrance Day, Part 1, is to take a stand for peace, even though sometimes it means stepping up and stepping out of our comfort zone in order to protect those who cannot protect themselves. And then the second part of Remembrance Day is in the word itself. And there is a powerful song that was written by Eric Bogle and made famous by the Pogues about a soldier from Australia who was shipped out to a place in Turkey in 1915. This song is a little long, but it is powerful in the words, in the mood, and in the loneliness of the futility of war. Here now, the band played Waltzing Matilda.
Now when I was a young man, I carried me pack, and I lived the free life on the rover. From the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback, well, I waltzed my Matilda all over. Then in 1915, my country said, son, it's time you stop rambling, there's work to be done. So they gave me a tin hat and they gave me a gun, and they marched me away to the war. And the band played Waltzing Matilda as the ship pulled away from the quay. And amidst all the cheers, the flag waving and tears, we sailed off for Gallipoli. And how well I remember that terrible day, how our blood stained the sand and the water, and of how in that hell that they called Suvla Bay, we were butchered like lambs at the slaughter. Johnny Turk, he was waiting, he'd primed himself well, he showered us with bullets and he rained us with shell, and in 5 minutes flat he'd blown us all to hell. Nearly blew us right back to Australia. But the band played Waltzing Matilda when we stopped to bury our slain. We buried ours and the Turks buried theirs. Then we started all over again. And those that were left, well, we tried to survive in that mad world of blood, death and fire. And for 10 weary weeks I kept myself alive, though around me the corpses piled higher. Then a big Turkish shell knocked me arse overhead, and when I woke up in me hospital bed and saw what it had done, well, I wished I was dead. ever knew there was worse things than dying. For I'll go no more waltzing Matilda all around the green bush far and free, to hum tents and pegs a man needs both legs. No more waltzing Matilda for me. So they gathered the crippled, the wounded, the maimed, and they shipped us back home to Australia. The legless, the armless, the blind, the insane, those proud wounded heroes of Suvla. And as our ship pulled into Circular Quay, I looked at the place where me legs used to be, and thank Christ there was nobody waiting for me to grieve, to mourn and to pity. But the band played waltzing Matilda as they carried us down the gangway. But nobody cheered, they just stood and stared. Then they turned all their faces away. And so now, every April, I sit on me porch and I watch the parade pass before me. And I see my old comrades, how proudly they march, reviving old dreams of past glories. And the old men march slowly, all bones stiff and sore. They're tired old heroes from a forgotten war. And the young people ask, what are they marching for? And I ask myself the same question. But the band plays waltzing Matilda, and the old men still answer the call. But as year follows year, more old men disappear. Someday no one will march there at all. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, who'll come a-waltzing Matilda with me? And their ghosts may be heard as they march by that billabong. Who'll come a-waltzing Matilda with me?
Good morning, shoppers. At 11 o'clock on this 11th day of November, we'd like to invite you to share with us 2 minutes of silence in honor of our veterans.
They fought and some died for their homeland. They fought and some died, now it's our land. Look at his little child, there's no fear in her eyes. Could he not show respect for other dads who have died? Take 2 minutes, would you mind? It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls who went over. In peace may they rest, may we never forget why they died. It's a pittance of time. God forgive me for wanting to strike him. Give me strength so as not to be like him. My heart pounds in my breast, fingers pressed to my lips. My throat wants to bawl out, my tongue barely resists. But 2 minutes I will bide, it's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls who went over. In peace may they rest, may we never forget why they died. It's a pittance of time. Read the letters and poems of the heroes at home. They have casualties, battles, and fears of their own. There's a price to be paid if you go, if you stay. Freedom's fought for and won in numerous ways. Take 2 minutes, would you mind? It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls all over. May we never forget our young become vets at the end of the line. It's a pittance of time. It takes courage to fight in your own war. It takes courage to fight someone else's war. Our peacekeepers tell of their own living hell. They bring hope to foreign lands that hate mongers can't kill. Take 2 minutes, would you mind? It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls who go over. In peacetime our best still don battle dress and lay their lives on the line. It's a pittance of time. In peace may they rest, lest we forget why they died. Take a pittance of time.
This Remembrance Day, let us remember that at our core we all want peace, love, and joy. That people on all sides of every conflict died. People who were sons, brothers, daughters, mothers, children. Let us remember the words of a young woman named Anne Frank, who was killed at the age of 14 for the crime of being Jewish. She wrote, "I keep my ideals because in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart." Let us be inspired by Anne's optimism when she wrote, "How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." Peace begins with us, with you, with me, with every action and interaction that we have with another. Let us not let the deaths of fallen soldiers and the emotional wounds of veterans and their families be wasted. Let us remember the principles they died for, so that their sacrifices are not in vain. We owe our soldiers, our peacekeepers, their families, a debt of gratitude. We honor their sacrifice, those who fell and those who survived. Let us always remember to give thanks and honor those who were willing to put their lives on the line for us. Those who are today still willing to put their lives on the line for us. This Remembrance Day, let's remember these words that are spoken at Remembrance Day services across the world. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. I invite you, wherever you are right now, to stand as we hear the last post. Spend a time of appreciation and honoring in silence, and then hear reveille. Please stand. And so we come to the end of our service today. I invite you to join us on Zoom after the service for a time of connection and chatting with each other. I want to say thank you to Alexandra, to Jerry, to Walt, to Aaron, who are all working in the background, making sure that the technology is smooth and able to be shared with everybody. And most of all, I want to say thank you to you for joining us. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful week and a happy Remembrance Day. Blessings to you all.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. So will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
I am the light of God. I am the love of God. I am the power of God. I am the presence of God. Wherever